All right, so in today's video, we're going to talk about one of the best ways that you can cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset in your kids. It's one of the biggest questions I get asked all the time is like, how do I help my kid to start thinking more like an entrepreneur? How do I, get them to want to be an entrepreneur? And so one is like, you can't just like flip a switch and they magically become an entrepreneur, right? Like that doesn't work. That doesn't happen. So how do you do it? Like, how do you cultivate this over time? And I've been thinking a lot about this tonight. I was sitting out in the outfield shagging balls at practice tonight and started to think through like, how would I even frame this? And I think the biggest thing is that one is you want to be part of something that your kids want to be. Like, they have to want to emulate you in certain ways. And so that could be that, your work is something that they want to aspire to do one day, or that, you're working in public to where they're seeing you do things. So I work out sometimes at the table outside, the one you see me filming at all the time. I work there. I sit out, we have like an outside bar area. I sit there and work, and they're always seeing me like doing these things and doing these projects and working on all this stuff. They saw me when we had the ambitious business, when we were doing the video planners, and I was selling, 1,000 video planners a day and bringing them in and like sharing all of that. And then as we did the supplement business, they were seeing me like box everything up every single morning and helping me bring it to the post office and seeing me in action as I grew a business. And then the second half of that is not just seeing you in action, it's involving them in certain ways. And I think this is key in getting them to develop that entrepreneurial mindset for themselves, is involving them. So when I would go to drop off orders, I would have them come with me to the post office and I would ask them questions. I would engage with them. Do you want to help me tape up some of the boxes today? I would be writing thank you notes. You know why I write thank you notes to every customer that buys something from us? I would do all these things and get them, again, I'm not trying to train them to be entrepreneurs. I was just trying to get them to see like what it is that we do. So I think that is such a key component of it, is getting them to see what it's like to be an entrepreneur by being the best one you can possibly be. Two is then involving them in your business or in your work or what it is that you do and throughout this entire process. But I think the biggest one, it's finding the things that they're interested in. We've talked about this a lot. Like, what are they obsessed with? What are they curious about? What are some of their passions? And, who are some of the people in that space or the entrepreneurs in that space that you can have these conversations about? So I'm fortunate that my kids are like obsessed with YouTubers, and all these big YouTubers are coming out with their own products. So obviously you got Mr. Beast and Mr. Beast bars, but when Mr. Beast had Beast Burger, it's Feastables now, not Beast bars, but he had Mr. Beast Burger, and you would have this app and you would find these places that were, ghost kitchens making, and I was talk to them all about this. Like, hey, we just got 4 burgers. It was like $60. Like, how much do you think Mr. Beast makes on every one of those burgers? And we just talk about these business concepts. They had no idea I was trying to help them understand business and entrepreneurship and what it was like to have this audience, and how Mr. Beast could just like say like, hey, I'm starting this Mr. Beast burger thing. And like millions of people all over the world were now ordering Beast bars. So I would, or Mr. Beast burger. We talk to them about all this stuff. A lot of their YouTubers now, there's like Ryan Trahan, who has the sour strip, not sour strips, that's Max Chewing, but it's another one, right? Max Chewing with sour strips. You got Ryan Trahan with his sour candies. You've got, so like in the baseball space, there's so many of these, right? Like Savannah Bananas all over TikTok, all over social, and then all the merch and stuff that's associated with them. But the big one, this is one that I've been talking a lot about, is Bruce Bolt. They're a batting glove company in the baseball space, and they made batting gloves cool again, because batting gloves forever, since I was a kid, literally batting gloves have never changed. They're still exactly the same, so exactly how they were 35, 40 years ago. And Bruce Bolt came and made them way cooler, just better designs, better colors, just built better. The way that it straps and everything about them is way better than what Franklin was doing 35 years ago, and they haven't innovated at all. And Bruce Bolt this week did a drop, which is a limited edition run with one of my son's favorite baseball players, Max Clark, who was the 3rd overall pick in last year's draft, straight out of high school from Franklin, Indiana. And they had a limited drop. And so Colt has, my wife and myself getting text message alerts and email alerts. So as soon as this thing goes live, we could be the first ones to jump in and buy the gloves. We, fortunately for him, got a pair of the batting gloves. He's super stoked. He's excited. This sold out in 6 minutes, hundreds and hundreds of pairs. And so it got us to talk about, well, how do they do this? How do they build up hype? How do they build up anticipation? How did they get demand? What were some of the videos that they shared? Like, why did you want these so much? And how can we apply it in our instance? Like, how do we apply this to Arte Shades? If we're going to do, this drop this summer for the red, white, and blue glasses that I've been hyping up every day in these videos, well, part of that is like, let's build the hype for them. Let's talk about how cool they're going to be. Let's do some hype videos. Let's build up anticipation for this, and let's see if we can sell 100 youth pairs, 100 adult pairs, and try to sell them out in a weekend. And so we're using that. So it goes back to like, I was having these conversations with Cole and Bri and my wife, and just it's just organically a part of our conversations. I'm not saying like, hey, today I'm gonna you have to read a book about entrepreneurship. Just having natural conversations with them about the things that they're already interested in, and then I just put a business spin or a business twist on it to get them more engaged and to get them thinking about being creative, coming up with ideas. How do we package things? How do we price things? What got you interested in this? Like, why did you want these things? All of that super important, and I think that's how you develop an entrepreneurial mindset in your kids, is just let it be naturally a part of your conversations, of your life, of your lifestyle. Because, again, I've said this for like a decade now, is like being an entrepreneur is a lifestyle, right? It's not just something that, we do this week. It's something that we do every minute of every single day as we live it. And I think talking about it and bringing it and making it a part of their life is one of the best things that you could possibly do. So that's today's video. How do you develop that entrepreneurial mindset in your kids? So important. I'd love to know like what you're doing to develop an entrepreneurial mindset in your kids. And if you are a kid and you're watching this, why do you want to start a business? Like, what gets you excited about being an entrepreneur, or starting a business, or making your own company, or doing YouTube videos, whatever it is? I'd love to know. Drop it in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button. Super helps us out on the road. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber number. We're really close. That'll allow us to start monetizing the channel to keep making more cool videos for you guys, both with Colt doing all of his shorts and all of that stuff, and some of these long form videos. We got a bunch of cool interviews lined up. Subscribe, comment, all that stuff really helps the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.